Konuşmanızda söylediğiniz gibi ülkelerin açıkladığı sayılar arasında çelişkiler varken Türkiye'nin güvenli uçuş koridorundan çıkarılmasını siyasi bir karar olarak mı değerlendiriyorsunuz? Diye bir soru. Bilmiyorum soruyu yakalayabildiniz mi? You can go in English, please.
Thank you. So if I understand the question correctly, it is whether or not the decision to keep open or close air corridors between the UK and countries like Turkey is a political decision or essentially a scientific decision.
Correct, definitely.
Well, we have a biosecurity centre in the UK that makes recommendations to our ministers. And the Biosecurity Centre looks at all the data that countries produce and that is publicly collected. And they do their best to interpret the data to reach a conclusion on the level of the disease in different countries. So that part of the process is definitely scientific. These are not politicians, these are scientists and statisticians who produce these reports for the ministers. But then the report goes to the ministers, and the ministers have to decide whether to accept the recommendations or otherwise. So they have a degree of discretion. But there would have to be an overwhelmingly strong reason for the ministers not to accept the recommendation of the scientists from the Biosecurity Centre. And one of the key points about the work done by the Biosecurity Centre rests on how trustworthy is the data that is in the public domain. Can you believe the numbers? And that affects the judgment that is being made. So even if the numbers look very good, if you don't believe the numbers, you might still recommend that we should not have an air corridor with a country X or country Y. So we've made a decision today, which you probably have heard about, to close the air corridor with Turkey because of the reinterpretation or the redefinition of what the data means. And it suggests, therefore, that the rate of coronavirus is much higher in Turkey than we had believed before. And so although we're not challenging the numbers of deaths or the numbers, we don't challenge the number of people recorded as dying with coronavirus or in hospital with coronavirus, what we now understand is the number of positive cases is much larger than we had understood it to be before. So I think that means Turkey is now above the ceiling for having an air corridor, and so we've acted quickly to change the position. So there's politics in this, in the sense that there's political feelings about it, and we very much regret what is happening, but it's essentially on the recommendation of our scientists and statisticians who tell ministers what they should be doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.